All right, and here we are on part 3. This part is going to be lesson 13 still, and this is going to be working on the back side of your page. This is number 3, and we're going to do A and B together. So if you look at A, it says 6.4 plus 5.3. So the thing that you need to really think about when you're adding these up is that you need to add up place value. All right, it's so important to make sure that you're adding ones together, tenths together, and hundredths together. So you have to really look at that decimal as your clue of where you're going to line those up. So if I'm stacking these together, I'm going to put my 6.4, I'm going to write it up here because I have 6 holes, and here's my point right here in between my ones and my tenths. And I have 4 in the tenths place, so I'm going to write that 4 in the tenths place. Now I'm adding it to 5.3, so I'm thinking, all right, here's my point, and I've got 5 in my holes, and I have a 3 in the tenths place. So I'm going to put it right in there. So now I'm ready. I can add those up just like that. And I'm going to say, all right, I'm adding my tenths together. 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 tenths. And then I have my decimal. And then I have 6 plus 5, which would be 11. So technically my 11 is going to move over into my tenths, right? And have 1 10 and 1, but I'm just going to write those close just so we're not moving into there. So my final answer would be 11.7. So my answer would be 11.7 in my work. Okay, well, what if you don't draw a place value chart every single time and plug it in like that? Let's try the next one with just stacking it, okay? Because I need to just remember that as long as I'm looking at my decimal, it's going to help me get all of my numbers in the right place value. So looking at my 6.62, now I'm looking at my next number that I'm adding together, and I have 2.98. So I'm going to put my 2 over here in the ones value, and this 9 is in my tenths value, and this 8 is in my hundredths value, and I'm lining that up nicely with all of my other numbers. Now watch what happens here. We're going to add 8 and 2 together, right? 8, 9, 10. So if I have 10 hundredths all together, that means that I have filled up all of my hundredths places, and I can add, it's going to carry over into that tenth. Okay, it's kind of like saying that I have 100 pennies now, and I'm moving it over into my, I'm regrouping it as, instead of having 100 pennies, I'm going to have 1/10. Okay. All right, now we're going to move on with 9 plus 1 more is 10, plus 6 more is 16. So same thing there. We just said, all right, we just made 16 groups of 10, or we could think of it as dimes. We have 16 dimes. So 10 of those dimes would make $1, right? So I moved that whole dollar over here in a sense, and I have 6 dimes left. So 16 tenths means that I have now made 1 whole and 6 tenths left. So I'm just showing you that this is regular adding, and when you start carrying it over just like regular adding, it's going to be regrouping those hundredths and tenths just like it does with ones, tens, and hundreds, okay? 6, 7, 8, 9, so now we have 9, and so we have 9.60 would be our final answer. All right, so you see how easy it is to add decimals. Really, it's just like adding. You could even subtract with it. The biggest thing you need to remember is to line up your decimal. That's going to help you keep all of your place values in the right place so that you're adding together the right value with the right value. All right, let's see. And I think that we should try one more, because when you get to this point in your work, you're just going to be adding them together. So let's do letter H together. That'll be the last one on your in your assignment. 17.6 plus 3.59. 3.59. Now you need to restack these so that you're stacking values on values. So I'm going to start with my 17.6, and now I'm going to make sure that I stack these in the right value over here. I have 3 in my ones, and then I have my point. Make sure I'm lining those points up right on top of each other. It's really important to make your handwriting really good on this so that you don't get things mixed up. And then you're going to have a 5 in your tenths, and then this one has a 9 in the hundredths, so it's going to be out here. Now when you look at this, what if you don't have anything over here in this hundredths? Is that a problem? No, it's not a problem because you're just going to add nothing to it. If there's nothing in this hundredths and there's 9 in this hundredths, then there's still 9, right? So then now we're going to go to our tenths. 6 plus 5 is 11, so we're going to carry over, because if we have 11 dimes, we have more than $1, right? We got to move that one whole that we made. After you get a group of 10, it's going to come over into the ones and make a whole. So we have 1 dime left, kind of 1/10 left, and 1 whole that we've made now. Now we can add up our ones, and we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 more. And don't forget to put your decimal in there in your answer spot. You're just going to keep bringing it right down with your problem. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So our final answer on letter H is 21.19. All right. If you have any questions on this, make sure you're putting a question mark by that question, bringing it to our Zoom classes. Your teachers will love to hear from you and will love to help you. So see you then.